All right, welcome. If you work in local government, you already know the pressure is, well, it's pretty much nonstop, right? So today, we're going to dive into a really powerful framework that's not just about surviving public service, but actually thriving in it. Let's get right into it.
So let's start with a scene that I'm willing to bet is instantly recognizable to anyone who's ever worked a public counter or answered a phone at City Hall. You know the one I'm talking about. It's that one specific, inevitable call.
Yep, that call. You know the one. It could be about anything, really. A missed trash pickup, a pothole, maybe even an overdue library book. Honestly, the specifics, they don't even matter. What matters is the sheer force of the anger and how it's all channeled, laser-focused, directly at you. That's what defines that moment.
And that really is the heart of it, isn't it? In that one instant, you're not you anymore. You're not a person. You become this faceless symbol for every single frustration that resident has ever had, with taxes, with bureaucracy, maybe even with life itself. And you can feel it, right? Your pulse starts to quicken. Your natural instinct, your fight or flight, kicks in. You want to fight back, or maybe just shut down completely. But what if there's a better way?
Okay, so this is where we pivot. It's about shifting from reacting to consciously responding. And to do that, we need to install a different kind of operating system for our minds. And believe it or not, this OS has been around for over 2,000 years.
Now look, when most people hear the word stoicism, they immediately think of being cold, emotionless, like a robot. But that's a huge misunderstanding. It's not about indifference at all. A better way to think about it is like this. It's a mental toolkit, an internal framework that's been battle-tested for high-stress, low-control environments. In other words, it's pretty much perfect for government work.
This quote from Ryan Holiday just nails it. It's the core idea. Think about it. You can't control a resident's mood. You can't control their opinions. You definitely can't control budget cuts or state mandates. But the one thing you have absolute 100% control over, that's how you choose to respond, how you choose to act. That is where your power really lies.
So, okay, how do we actually apply this? Well, it all starts with what might be the single most powerful, stress-reducing principle in the entire philosophy. It's all about understanding one simple thing, the difference between what you can and cannot control.
This is it, the dichotomy of control. It's super simple. On the left, you've got everything that is 100% yours to command, your opinions, your goals, your desires, and most importantly, your actions. Now on the right, that's everything else. What people think of you, what they say, external events, literally anything outside your own mind. And here's the absolute game changer. All of your energy, all of your focus belongs in that left column. Period.
Learning to mentally separate these two worlds, that is the secret sauce to resilience. You can have a hurricane of angry callers, brutal budget meetings, and all kinds of political pressure raging on the outside. But inside, you've got this calm, controlled center. Because you know exactly where your real work lies and what you can control.
And listen, this isn't some new age self-help fad. This comes straight from Epictetus, a philosopher who was literally born a slave. I mean, think about that. He understood better than almost anyone what it means to have absolutely no control over your external world. And yet, he found true freedom by focusing entirely on the one thing they couldn't take from him: his own mind, his own actions, his own character.
Okay, so once you know what to focus on, your own actions, the next logical question is, well, how should you act? The Stoics gave us a guide for that too, and I love this way of thinking about it. Don't see them as these lofty, abstract ideals. Instead, think of them as your personal KPIs, your key performance indicators for doing excellent work.
And here they are, the 4 cardinal virtues: wisdom, justice, courage, and temperance. And the key thing to remember is they aren't separate things you check off a list. They're all interconnected. You can't really have one without the others. So let's break down what these actually look like in a city hall setting.
First up is wisdom. And we're not talking about being some kind of genius who has all the answers. This is about practical, on-the-ground wisdom. It's knowing how to navigate that ridiculously complex zoning code to find the right answer for a resident, not just the easy one. And maybe most importantly, it's having the humility and the confidence to say, you know what, I don't know the answer to that, but I promise you I will find out.
Next, we have justice. And this is the absolute bedrock of public trust. It means that the quiet resident who's just trying to follow the rules gets the exact same fair shake as the squeaky wheel who's threatening to call the mayor every 5 minutes. See, justice isn't just about the laws on the books. It's about making sure the entire process is fair, equal, and transparent for every single person who walks through that door.
Then there's courage. Now, courage inside a bureaucracy looks a little different, right? It's not about running into a burning building. It's about looking at a form, you know, the one that's been photocopied for 20 years, and having the guts to say, this is broken. This no longer serves our residents, and we need to fix it. It's admitting a mistake, face to face with a citizen, instead of hiding behind bureaucratic jargon. It's just doing the right thing, especially when it's hard.
And finally, temperance. This is the virtue of balance, moderation, and, frankly, sustainability. This is what keeps you from burning out. It's the discipline to not promise something you know you can't deliver. It's managing public money like it's your own. And it's the ability to not get completely derailed by the crisis of the day so you can keep your eye on the long-term mission.
So, here's where it all comes together. When you combine that simple idea of what you can and can't control with these 4 virtues as your guide, something really powerful starts to happen. You stop just surviving your job and you start finding a real deep sense of purpose in it.
The Stoics had this incredible concept called the inner citadel. Think of it as your own personal mental fortress. So when that local Facebook group starts attacking your department, or a resident personally questions your integrity, you can retreat into this citadel. You calmly recognize that their opinions, their anger, that's all external. It's outside your fortress. It doesn't belong to you, and it cannot harm you unless you open the gates and let it in.
And here's a super practical technique from the philosopher Seneca. He actually called anger a temporary madness, and his remedy was simple: delay. The greatest remedy for anger is delay. When you feel that hot flash of anger rising, whether it's in a tense council meeting or on the phone with that resident, the most powerful thing you can do is just pause. Take a breath. That tiny delay can be the difference between a full-blown conflict and a resolution.
But let's be real for a second. Why? Why put up with all of this? The criticism, the bureaucracy, the long hours? Well, the Roman Emperor Marcus Aurelius, who was arguably the most powerful man in the world, had this beautiful metaphor for it. He called it the duty of the bee. What does a bee do? It makes honey. What does a vine do? It grows grapes. They do it because it's their nature. And our nature, as social creatures, is to work together and serve our community, to serve the hive.
This quote just perfectly captures that public service mindset. It's so simple. What's not good for the whole community can't be good for us as individuals working within it. So when you process a permit efficiently, or you're out there repairing a water main in the freezing cold, you are fulfilling your duty to the hive. And here's the key. The real reward isn't hoping for a thank you note, which you may or may not get. The reward is in the work itself.
And all of this, it leads to the ultimate goal. There's a Greek word for it, eudaimonia. Now, it often gets translated as happiness, but honestly, that doesn't really do it justice. It's more like flourishing. It's that deep, profound sense of well-being you get from knowing that no matter what chaos was thrown at you today, you acted with virtue. You did your duty with integrity.
Seriously, just take a second and picture this. Imagine a city hall where every single person sees an angry resident not as a problem, but as a chance to practice patience and justice. Where every clunky, outdated process is seen as a chance to practice courage. I mean, can you imagine? An organization like that would build a level of public trust that would be basically unbreakable.
And here's the thing. We can choose right now to start using this framework. We can become the internal governors of our own minds and see every single challenge as an opportunity to practice virtue. Now, ultimately, whether or not you actually do this is, of course, beyond my control. Or is it? Thanks for watching.